Today, we're reading Berenstain Bears, The Trouble with Money. When little bears spend every nickel and every penny, the trouble with money is they never have any. Brother Bear and Sister Bear knew quite a lot about the ways of bear country. They knew where the most beautiful wildflowers grew. They knew where the wild berries were the thickest and the juiciest. They knew where the best spots were to watch the sun rise and the sun set. They knew where all the best honey trees were. They even knew a very special place where you could almost see a rainbow from a secret space behind a waterfall. But there were some things that they didn't know much about. One of those things Brother and Sister Bear didn't know very well was money. Oh, they knew money was fun to have and even more fun to spend. And whenever they got some, as a present or for doing some chores for a neighbor or for no reason other than grizzly Gramps, who tend to spoil them, or from Papa Bear, who spoiled them even more, they ran as fast as their legs could carry them to the Bear Country Mall and to spend it. For honeycomb on a stick, a balsa wood glider that did loops, for tiny little mouth organ that only played 3 notes. They never bought anything sensible, and they hardly ever saved. Once in a while, Sister put money in her piggy bank, but she usually shook it out before it had a chance to cool off from her hot little hand. Brother didn't even have a piggy bank. Mama was becoming concerned about the cubs' carefree, spendthrift ways with money. I think Brother and Sister should have a regular allowance, she said one afternoon when her and Papa were working on the family books. An allowance, Papa said. Yes, so they can learn to use money sensibly, and to save, and to plan ahead. Oh, no, Papa said. They're way too young for that sort of thing. Let them enjoy themselves. They'll have to worry about money soon enough when they're grown-ups. But it was Papa who first lost his patience with their carelessness with money. It happened one day when the cubs had been seen at the mall spending some pennies a neighbor had given them for walking their dog. That was when they saw the new video game. It was called Astro Bear, and it looked so exciting. A video game at the mall, Papa shouted. You must think that I am made of money. Well, the cubs thought of no such thing, and when they pictured Papa made of money, they thought that just sounds so strange. Mama could see their puzzled look on their little faces, and she said, that's actually just a figure of speech, my dears. That's when the cubs realized that the situation was pretty serious because Papa Bear only used figures of speech when he was very, very upset. You must think that money grows on trees, he shouted. Video games indeed, he continued, becoming more and more upset. There was no such thing as video games when I was a cub. Why, I didn't even know what money was until I was almost a grown-up, he said. Precisely, my dear, interrupted Mom. And that's why this might be a very good time to start Brother and Sister on a regular allowance so they can absolutely not, Papa said, knocking over a chair. They must learn how to earn their own money. That's what life is about, working, earning money, and saving for a rainy day. The cubs know how really serious the situation must be because Papa used 3 figures of speech and knocked over a chair. They decided right then and there they needed to mend their ways of spendlessly wasting money. It turned out that the cubs were very good at earning money once they set their minds to it. First, they gathered wildflowers for those special places that they knew about. Then they took some of them and made bouquets and sold them on the side of the road. Business was very good. They gathered those fat, juicy berries that they knew and they sold them door to door. Business was very, very good. Brother and sister were turning out to be even better at making money than they had been at spending money. They organized guided tours of Bear's Country's finest and most beautiful spots. Sister's piggy bank was jammed full of money. They started a very successful pet minding service. Brother had to borrow Mama's sugar bowl to keep all of the extra money in. At first, Papa was very impressed and pleased, but when the cubs started to sell maps showing the location of all the best honey trees, Papa began to have his doubts. "Those honey trees are a family secret," he complained. "The cubs don't seem to understand that some of the things are more important than money. They've gone from caring too little about money to now they care too much," he said. "Why, just look at them. They're turning into greedy, selfish little misers." So Papa continued. He pointed out how the cubs, who indeed looked more like little greedy misers as they counted their money. "Cubs," said Papa in his sternest voice, "we're going to have another talk." But before he could start his speech, the cubs took all of the money that they had earned selling flowers and berries and doing chores, minding pets, and selling honey tree maps, and dumped all of the money on Papa's lap. "Here, Papa," said Brother, "this is for you." "That's right," said Sister. "We thought if we made some money for you, you wouldn't have to worry about it so much. We hope that this is enough." Papa was so startled and so embarrassed at having been so wrong about them that he was actually speechless. "That's very, very generous," said Mom. "It's quite a sum of money, and I know Papa appreciates it, but I have a much better idea. Papa does worry about money, of course. Most mamas and papas do from time to time. But what Papa is really worried about is you," she said. "He wants to be sure that you understand that there are more to know about money than just how to spend it." "You know what I was thinking," said Papa. "I think we should start Brother and Sister on a regular allowance so they can learn to use their money sensibly, to save and to plan ahead." "An excellent idea," Mom said, as she was smiling, because you recall that was her idea. "What about the money we earned?" asked the cubs. "You earned it. It's yours," said Mama. "What I suggest is that we take it down to the mall and put it in the Bear Country Bank." "Great suggestion," said Papa. "That money can be used as a nest egg." "Oh dear," cried the cubs. "Another figure of speech, and a very appropriate one," said Mama. She explained that the nest egg is one that a farmer leaves in the nest to hatch another chick. When you put money in the bank, it hatches interest. "Interest?" asked the cubs. "The bank will pay you for leaving the money there. That is called interest." That day, Bear family went to the bank and opened an account for the cubs. It happened the bank was right next door to the video arcade. "Say, that looks interesting," said Papa as he saw Astro Bear game. "Let's give it a try." So the Bear family gave Astro Bear a try. Papa ended with the lowest score. "You know," he said, "we didn't have a video game when I was a cub. You'll have to give me another chance at this sometime." "Anytime at all," said Brother and Sister, giving their Papa a great big hug.